I'd like to say I'm looking forward to the Aquaman sequel, but much like the turd Amber Heard left in Johnny Depp's bed and a can of old sardines, this movie looks like it's going to stink. Hi y'all, SnarkyJay cosplay here. As of the time of this video's recording, we are almost halfway through September, which means we are literally 3 months away from the supposed release date of the Aquaman sequel. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom is set to be released on December 20th, 2023 as an early Christmas gift to people who I guess are only waiting for coal. We are basically about 3 months away from this release date, and we have yet to even see a teaser trailer. We don't have an official trailer, we don't have an official teaser, we don't have a pre-teaser, we don't even have so much as an official poster for this movie. There is literally nothing out there about this movie besides fan edits and various YouTubers bitching about how terrible it's gonna be. Now, to be completely honest, I genuinely expected Aquaman 2 and The Flash to get the Batgirl treatment, and by that I figured that they would have finished filming the whole thing just to scrap it and basically use it as a tax write-off in order to avoid spending more money pushing a corpse of a film to make very little money back, if any at all. Now, the reason why I thought that is because there's very little hype left for this movie, and I'll get into why in just a few minutes. But the fact of the matter is that the first Aquaman film literally broke $1 billion. I don't know how we let that piece of shit movie break $1 billion. Like, who gave that over 80% on Rotten Tomatoes? If that was you, please leave a comment and tell me why you thought Aquaman was that good. I'll read it and I'll reply, because honestly, I don't understand. It was a free rental for me. I got it for free from Redbox. I returned it the exact same day because of how awful it was. I didn't even finish it. I left it with like a half hour remaining. I couldn't do it. But obviously the damn thing made $1 billion, so they would not cancel the sequel, right? But I think that Warner Brothers is slowly coming to the conclusion that this is going to be one of our favorite words on this channel, another big old flop. While Warner Brothers did rake in a ton of money with the Barbie movie, they are still already facing losing like $200 to $500 million due to the whole SAG-AFTRA strike thing. But as far as DC is concerned, I think DC is literally like an open wound in the side of Warner Brothers Studios that just won't stop bleeding out money. The Flash is considered a huge financial flop. It made about $269 like globally in the box office, which left Warner Brothers with a loss of about $200 million. Blue Beetle is currently still in theaters, but in its opening weekend, it raked in a devastatingly low $25 million, and in the 3 or 4 weeks it's been out, it's literally only made $100 million. This film, like The Flash, is definitely not going to break even and might make even less money somehow. And that's not even getting into the other box office flops that were Shazam 2: Fury of the Gods and Black Adam, which not only didn't really rake in enough money to have a leg to stand on, but they were also panned by critics and fans alike. A lot of people have chalked this up to superhero fatigue, and while the box office does seem to be showing some signs of people getting sick of superhero content, Aquaman 2 has a lot more to contend with than just people being sick of heroes in movies. A lot of people that made petitions that went nowhere are already choosing to boycott Aquaman 2 for the simple fact that they kept Amber Heard in the movie. Now, the point of this video is not to get into the whole Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp thing, but the fact of the matter is that Amber Heard's trial against Johnny Depp left a bad taste for the woman in a lot of people's mouths. A lot of people who are really pissed that she's managed to keep her career, while Johnny Depp's entire life and his habit of portraying Jack Sparrow basically got tanked. Of course, few people really want to fight to keep her in the movie when her character of Mera really wasn't all that interesting or charming to begin with. Another factor rubbing salt in the wounds of Aquaman 2 is that it is now part of a DCEU that no longer exists. We really don't have word on whether or not James Gunn is keeping Jason Momoa as Aquaman. I really hope they don't. I personally would love to see Jason Momoa back in DC as Lobo instead of Aquaman. I've always thought that he would do a great job with that character if DC would ever get the balls to write him into something. I personally don't subscribe to the belief that every single film I go watch in theaters has to be connected to a bigger universe. But the fact of the matter is that Marvel had me on the hook for years because I knew if I didn't watch every movie in theaters, I was going to miss something in the next one. DC, I think, tried to do the same thing, but at this point, we already know that this DCEU doesn't matter. So there's nothing that could happen in Aquaman 2 that would be relevant 2 or 3 years down the line and would make me regret not paying the $14 to go watch it in theaters. It's a really easily skippable movie because it doesn't really have anything to do with anything that's going to happen in the future, and that's kind of how DC shot themselves in the foot by still releasing movies that are not going to matter in the grand scheme of the multiverse to come. There is also the obvious fact of the SAG-AFTRA strike going on, and that's going to put a chokehold on any promotional efforts that DC Studios and Warner Brothers could really do. They can't do any press junkets with the actors, they can't do red carpets with the actors. The ever-charming Jason Momoa can't come out and convince us to go watch this movie because he's supposed to be on strike with everybody else, so the most he can do is walk around shirtless and promote cheap alcohol that nobody wants to drink. Regardless of my personal opinions about the actors in this film, it helps promote a movie when the stars of said movie can come out in a press junket and talk about it and build hype. So the fact that there won't be any red carpets featuring the stars and press junkets featuring them as well, it's kind of a disaster. The fact that we have yet to see a poster, a teaser, or a trailer for this goes to show that I think Warner Brothers is really kind of biting their nails and cringing at the thought of having to release this one. They are already on track to lose a tremendous amount of money based on the strikes. They've already lost huge amounts of money on Blue Beetle and The Flash. I don't think that they want to do the same thing with Aquaman, but I think they're going to see themselves in the position of either postponing it even further or just having to put out something that's already dead in the water and hoping for the best. Dead in the water. See what I did there? Because Aquaman, he's like in the water.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Alright, you know what? I try too hard for you people. You guys don't deserve me. And that's all from me. I've been SnarkyJay. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. For more SnarkyJay, feel free to check me out on Instagram, and if you'd like to support my content, be sure to check out my Patreon. I will add links to both of those in the description below. And let me know your thoughts on Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom in the comments below.